Morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it may be while you're listening to this. This is Anthologies of an Overthinker, and I am Josh, your overthinker for today. I lived the majority of the first half of my life silent, quiet, never knowing if my input had value. For the latter half of my life, I developed a bit of a gift for gab, where I can speak on many topics with a stream of consciousness that flows out my mouth like diarrhea at times. And I've always been one to thoroughly enjoy engaging conversation. The problem is finding such conversation to engage in. A lot of times, nowadays, you find people who are caught up in a materialistic world who know nothing about topics outside of the materialism that we have wrapped our lives in. But this materialistic world is not the way we were meant to have taken it. Humans are only materialistic by matter, by the fact that we must adhere to solid objects. But in the long run, we are neither materialistic nor human. We just happen to have to reside in a body that is called human. But everyone feels something stronger within them, something that is much more than just a human, more than just a body. And some of us call that our spirit, our soul, our life energy. It can be referred to as many things, and depending on your culture, your worldview, your perspective, whatever it may be. But in the deeper heart of it all, we are not human beings. We are not meant to live a materialistic world. What we are spiritual beings. Spiritual beings meant to experience a materialistic world that was intended to teach us the ways of existence, the ways of living the right way, and along the way, perhaps even learning how to live perhaps a life of service. And I don't mean service like how in some of our darkest histories, like slavery or indentured servitude, but a life of service, of serving the greater good, doing the right thing for those around you because it's the right thing to do. But in other words, altruistic behaviors seem to slip through the cracks, mostly because we are stuck in a materialistic mindset of, what do I get out of it? What you do get out of altruism is a greater sense of self. You do not know who you are if all you are ever doing is serving yourself. Because when you are serving the self, all you're doing is feeding that ego. And when that ego becomes insatiable, wanting everything and anything that this materialistic world has to offer, it's not the human being that suffers, it's the spiritual being that suffers. In the very long run of it all, when the spiritual being suffers, that is, in my opinion, where our deepest, darkest mental well-being tragedies begin. when we can no longer see ourselves as a spiritual being attempting to traverse not only the experience of a human being, but coexisting with all of the other species and animals and plants and whatever else may reside under the stars, under the heavens, as they say. Because really, we should have a mindset of family. It was the great and insightful martial artist Bruce Lee who had said, "Under the stars, under the heavens, we are all but one family." Also, in his great wisdom, while asked how he identifies more as Chinese or American, being that he was of mixed blood, in a class act action that no one had ever heard up to that point, he said he would most like to be identified as a human being. Because in the long run of it all, not only are we human beings trying to live and exist within this reality that we call living, we tend to forget that the only thing that sets us apart from each other is individuality. And without individuality, we would all be the same drones, droning on, doing the same thing, doing the same daily routine, in and out with no choice. Now, yes, we may do that now, but we do it with choice. We do it with a sense of style, a sense of flair, a personality, characteristics, attitude. Ideally, a good attitude. Because really, in the long run of it all bad attitude does is cause us to spread that. Like a contagious flu or cold, attitude can spread like wildfire. And not only can it, but it will. So any of you listening to this, keep that in mind. Your attitude not only affects you, but it affects everything around you. Everyone around you. Whether alive, not alive. This concept of the butterfly effect, where the flaps of a butterfly's wing could cause a hurricane on the other side of the world. But how would we even know that? How could we even know that if the idea that something seemingly insignificant as the flap of a butterfly's wings could cause something so catastrophic? But that there is the problem. The problem of not having the ability to recognize those sort of cause and effect. Because as we all know, cause and effect, we do not necessarily understand exactly what the ramifications of cause and effect results in. Even on the most minute levels, that seemingly minute effect caused by whatever menial act one had seemed to have done that was to them, oh, that was just another Tuesday. but to the receiver of whatever act that cause and effect resulted in, that could have ruined their day. That could have put them in their worst headspace. And in terms of being a human being, do we really want to be the ones to cause grief, harm, and otherwise pain or discomfort on our fellow human beings? So to yes, I understand. To some, that is an absolute yes. But those are the ones that we do not want to associate ourselves with. Well, this was more of a dry run to see how long I can continue on a stream of consciousness. And so far, so good. If I can keep running myself, my own stream of consciousness continually flowing for over 11 minutes, having the ability to do it with someone else to bounce off of, oh, this will be easy. 11 minutes to myself, man, I do have the gift of gab. Well, anyways, this has been Anthologies of an Overthinker. Again, I am Josh, your overthinker, overthinking everything so that you don't have to. Signing off. But until next time, don't overthink if you don't have to, because I will do it for you.
This audio is made with Audio Toolkit for Windows Store, downloaded for free now.